All right, gotta do some unboxing. Where's my cutting tool for that? Oh, I could use this. No, that's for models. Oh, what about? Oh, that's real over the top. No. Oh, fabric scissors.
Don't even think about it.
Oh, dang it. Perfect. Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I am David Rodriguez, and today I am unboxing the G.I. Joe deck building game from Renegade Games. I also have this bonus box number 1 that I got from pre-ordering it through Renegade. I don't know if it was available through other outlets if you pre-ordered, but there it is. So we'll look at that too. I don't usually want to unbox deck building games because it's just a whole lot of cards, and I don't know how exciting this to look at, but if you're like me and you're a fan of G.I. Joe, you're probably really excited to see what characters are going to be in this game. Looking at the cover, oh boy, I'm going to be testing my knowledge here. We got Snake Eyes, Scarlet, Duke, Lady J, Flint. Is it Roadblock maybe? I could be wrong. We have Storm Shadow, the Baroness, Destro, Zartan, Major Blood, and of course here in the middle, Cobra Commander. So that's a pretty good roster right there. I don't know if there's going to be more or not. They've already pretty much said that they're planning to do expansions for this, so there could be plenty of other characters that will be coming down the pipeline. Lord knows there were a ton of different toys. So this says, answer the call. Fall in. The evil organization Cobra threatens the world with their schemes, and it's up to you to stop them. In this deck building game, you and your fellow players will lead teams of G.I. Joe soldiers on missions to stop Cobra's dastardly plans. Each player starts the game with a meager deck that will grow more powerful as you recruit veterans from the G.I. Joe team, requisition gear, and field new vehicles. This fully cooperative game pits you against increasingly dangerous missions to save the world. This core set begins your journey with everything needed to play, but be prepared for more Joes and missions to come. So even on the back of the box, they're talking about future expansions, which, again, shouldn't be surprising with this kind of game. Okay, and then this bonus box has a constructible hanger, an alternate round marker, and Don Moreno and promoted Don Moreno promo cards. So we will check that out. Let me go ahead and cut into this. I've read the rules. I assume that they were the final rules. So I know a little bit about how this works. I'm not going to go too much into that until I've had a chance to play it. I find personally that I can speak better on something having run through it rather than just having read the rules on their own. So, get this open. I'm going to move this to the side for the moment. We will get to that a little bit later. All right, I've been very excited to see this ever since I saw it was coming out. I've got a lot of love for the G.I. Joe franchise, even though if you go back and watch the cartoons now, they don't hold up that great, I don't think. But they're still fun. I'm not this big military theme person, and obviously this is kind of a silly military theme, but I don't know, something about them just really did it for me. So as a G.I. Joe, the role-playing game ad, I think that's neat. I doubt I will ever actually play that if I get it, so I don't think I'm going to get that, but Transformers deck building game, I have that pre-ordered too. I ordered it through an online shop, and I pre-ordered it at the same time as I pre-ordered something else, and that something else is out, and this isn't, and so I have to wait for that to come out to get either. So that's how it goes. So here's our rule book. I'm going to flip through that a little bit. It looks like it's the same as the one I read online. I don't know why it wouldn't be, really, but that could certainly be the case. If I'd gotten some kind of early version of the rules. It has what looks like some interesting twists on the deck building theme. I mean, at its core, this is a pretty, kind of like a basic deck builder in that it doesn't have a lot of other mechanics strapped onto it, but it has some different things. Okay, whoops. So this is, I want to say it's called the threat meter. I could be wrong, but I know it gets worse as the game goes on, and you can do things to lessen it. As it goes up, different effects will start to happen that could be bad for you if it gets real bad. So, other than that, we have this end of round token, which I believe you only use in in the solo game. It says right there. We have the hanger here, which when you get vehicles, you'll put those in that spot. The reserve space is for solo or 2-player games, which in that case, to make the game more possible, I guess what you could do is you could put a hand that's in your card in reserve, and then you'll put it in your hand in addition to your usual hand of cards in the next turn, so you get like an extra card out of it. Get some Cobra tokens. I don't remember what these Starburst ones could be. There's one that looks kind of like, oh, it's a failure token, a success token. So those are all there. So one of the things that is sort of interesting about this deck building game is that it has dice. I don't know if I have another deck building game that uses dice. I'm sure there's probably one out there. So the basic gist of it is as you play the game, there's going to be missions that come up. And they'll say, for instance, that this mission requires maybe martial arts as a skill. And then you can send your Joes out to deal with the mission, and other players can help you out as well. And so you could send someone that doesn't have the skill required, so they can only contribute 1 dice to defeating the mission. Or if you have, say, 3 in martial arts, that Joe will contribute 3 dice. And depending on the mission, it's going to tell you how many successes you need to win. And so obviously more dice is better. The circle side is a miss, and then it has a side with 1 success and a side with 2 successes as well. So that's extremely basic gist of how that works. But that's kind of interesting. I'll see if I like that. You know, I love deck building games because I do like some randomness in my games, but I like the ability to mitigate that randomness as well. And deck building on its own does that. I mean, you're never sure what you're going to pull up into your hand necessarily, but you are creating your deck so you can make it better and better and increase your chances of getting good cards. So then putting on top of that a dice rolling mechanic could be interesting, and I'll be interested to see if I find that it feels still like I have a lot of control over my luck, or if it ends up feeling too lucky. I could see it going either way. So these are some of these are like some story missions. So we have Uncover the Double Agent. I'm pretty sure that's Baroness. Protect the satellite. Prevent the satellite launch. Find the tracking device. Decode Cobra's secret transmission. Rescue the scientists. Scan for secret location. Escape on jetpacks. Death Star attacks. And then there's success and failure things that can affect your game too. So if you go and you take your Joes out there and you roll your dice and you don't get it, you might have the failure thing. So this one, if you didn't succeed there, it'll say destroy all vehicles in this hangar and use on this mission except for the vamp. If you win, you move the threat tracker down 1. The target player draws 2 cards. So it's interesting. All kinds of different things. Snake robot attack. The Joes surrender. That seems unlikely. Grab the rare crystal element. Under the sea. Secure the rare liquid element. Underwater mayhem. Meteoric rise. Secure the rare volcanic element. I'll try to get this a little closer maybe. I have to be able to read it too. Destroy the mass device. Decode Cobra's secret message. Find the location of the hidden battalion. Repel Cobra's attack. Uncover the spy in Washington, D.C. I'm not sure if I'm pulling this very well. Expose the truth. No Joes. An unlikely ally. Infiltrate the top secret Cobra facility. Analyze the blueprints. Save the Prime Minister. Zartan in disguise. Prevent the Cobra attack at Big Ben. Sneak onto the Cobra space station. Disable the laser grid. Snake eats its own tail. Fight the Cobra space guard. Sabotage the space station. Destroy the mind control device. So that looks like it's like a bunch of different separate scenarios, but it's not. You use basically, if I remember right, there's different levels of them. So you'll use like, I think 3 level 1s and then 3 level 2s and 3 level 3s. And there's basically 2 different scenarios in this box. So the story mission cards I think can be a little bit random, although you'll see them again as you play more. But yeah, just 2 scenarios. I'm hoping that with the different story missions, that'll be enough variety to keep it interesting. I'm a little concerned because that seems pretty light. I'm sure expansions will add more in the future. But I'm hoping that what it gives you out of this box will be exciting enough to keep playing even just those 2, which it could be. It's easy to look at 2 and think that's not much, but a game can have a lot of variety built in other ways. Can I find the little tab to open this pack? That's the question, and it's not looking good. I may have to use an X-Acto because this is going to drive me crazy. I don't want to mess up the cards. That's always the scary thing using this. I don't like to use an X-Acto on this kind of container, but at the same time, I don't want this video to be necessarily an hour long. I'm still having trouble. Good grief. Okay. Let's see here. So we're getting into the cards. I'm not going to read every single card. Let's see. Some of these have the complication backing. There's the Obey Cobra, which I'm not sure. Those might have some of the characters. Let me get to some characters. I'm going to avoid the complications, I think. They look interesting, though. Okay, because we're going to get into some of the characters here with these Obey Cobra. So you have Cobra Commander, obviously the big boss. Same voice as Starscream over on Transformers, I'm pretty dang certain. Some people probably would disagree. I much prefer Cobra Commander over Serpentor. I couldn't stand Serpentor. Is this a command? I hated him. Cobra Commander has that really obnoxious voice. And it's like, I don't know what he says, but anyway, Destro, great. Baroness. All right, listen, I'm gonna talk about a thing that I'm curious if anybody else has something like this. When you were a kid, a young kid, did you have any cartoon crushes? The reason why I bring this up is G.I. Joe had, their drawings of adult women who were cool. And, initially I had a weird little cartoon crush on Scarlet. But after a while, I don't know if it's the tight black outfit or like the glasses were doing something to me or just that she was a little bit, wicked or something. But Baroness is fantastic. So, Baroness, cartoon crush there for a while. Love her. All right. I'm going to regret putting that on this. All right, Dr. Mindbender, Zartan, Major Blood, Storm Shadow. Everyone loves Storm Shadow, I think. All right, then we get to Cobra Battalion and Cobra Trooper cards, which I believe can mess up your day here. Like the battalion cards could go on top of a card on the marketplace, so you have to defeat them before you can purchase the cards under there. And then I believe, if I remember right, if all the cards in the marketplace are covered with Cobra Battalions, then you lose the game. So that's kind of an interesting thing. You have the Cobra Troopers, which I believe go into your deck. And yeah, they go into your discard pile. Okay, and then we have all sorts of other things here. So when we get to other characters here, I think we'll probably have some of the Joes. And there's even more. Okay, there's a lot of them in here. So in addition to the dice thing that I mentioned, what's kind of interesting about this one is in most deck builders, when you purchase a card from the marketplace, you put it right into your discard pile. And it'll come up sometime later in the game. This one's very different. When you purchase a card from the marketplace, you actually stick that right on top of your draw deck. So you know that you will get that card next turn, which I think is kind of interesting. Because you can kind of use that to prepare for things. Because when you have like the story cards you're going up against, I believe, if I remember, you put out one that you're going to be going on, but you could still see the next one there, I believe. So you know it's coming up. So you really have some chance to plan some kind of strategy to deal with the next thing happening. Also, some games are really careful or specific about how they want you to communicate with each other. This one, it's very open. They say in the book you're supposed to be working together, so you can say exactly what cards you have in your hand, and that's fine, which is cool. All right, so a lot of these are going to be your basic cards. You have your GIs, some of your, these are all basic service rifle, etc. Okay, now we're getting into some characters. Let's look at the characters. Here's Scarlet, who I told you before, because you have a leader in your game, and then I believe you have a promoted leader card as well, so you can kind of boost them up mid-game. I don't remember exactly how that works, to be honest with you, but so you have Scarlet, Snake Eyes, Duke, Lady J, Roadblock, Flint, Barbecue. Some of these guys I vaguely remember. Shipwreck and Polly, of course. Gotta have Shipwreck, right? Ace. Muskrat. Lowlight. Not all these are leaders, but Zap. Mainframe. This is bringing back memories here. Clutch. There's so many of these I wouldn't have been able to name them, but as I read these, I remember. Ripcord. And Jinx. Jinx was cool. If I remember right, she started off as one of the mail-away toys you could get from them by clipping off the little tag thingies on the back of the toys. You had to mail away to get her, otherwise you would not get her. So she wasn't available in stores, at least not for a while. I'm sure eventually they came out with some version of her that was. But I always thought she was neat. I collected the toys. I didn't have like a huge collection like many people did. And what I found, beyond being able to use them, of course, to play, G.I. Joe, is as a wrestling fan, they were perfect wrestling toys. Like the original G.I. Joe toys. I don't think the ones that came later had the same build to them, but the original ones, they had so many ways to articulate them, and they could bend in all sorts of weird ways. You could do almost any hold with them. So I had my own like internal weird little wrestling league using Joe characters, and I kept track of rivalries and wins and all. Oh, I was a nerd. Anyway, I still am, so that's fine. All right, let's get more characters, shall we? Lightfoot, Lift Ticket. God, a lot of these I don't remember. Beachhead. I remember Beachhead. Beachhead was all kind of cool looking. Leatherneck. Definitely remember Leatherneck. Alpine. Airborne. Cutter. Deep Six. Torpedo. Tunnel Rat. Spirit and Freedom. Stalker. Rock and Roll. Wild Bill. I remember Wild Bill. CoverGirl. I don't remember her. At least not from the cartoon, because, I mean, really, at the time, the Joes just had Lady Jane and Scarlet, if I remember right. So she might have been a later addition, I'm guessing. So that's cool, though. Hawk. And then we have the vehicles, because I mentioned earlier the Vamp. You get vehicles that you can use you have to transport your Joes to the missions. So they'll each hold a certain number of people. I think this means that this one holds 4, and this one's kind of always out there. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, it's kind of cool. You can get vehicles to help, I guess, transport more Joes, or maybe it gives you some special abilities when you have them. We'll take a look here. The Awe Striker. If a leader's on this mission, +2 Wild Scout, which is just 2 more dice. And if you have tank, plus 3 marksman. Okay, so yeah, I mean, there's different abilities that they'll give you. Ram, APC, Tomahawk, Sky Striker, Skyhawk, Killer Whale, Shark. They have some inspiration cards, which just help give you kind of boost in your game. You have gear, because of course you gotta have gear. I don't want to go into all this too much. More gear. Let's see. Oh, here's your promoted leader cards I mentioned. So there's that Scarlet, kind of a cool picture. Snake Eyes, Duke, Lady J, Roadblock, Flint. Okay, and then there's expert mode cards that you can do as well. There's your reference cards, and that's it. That's all the cards in this game. Let me make sure there's nothing hidden. I don't think there is. Okay, so that's all the base box stuff. Let me get into that little bonus box. We'll take a look at that and see if there's anything cool in there. I think there's like a buildable hanger thing that you can use instead of just the card that they have. I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this on this kind of box. Oh, maybe. I can get it started. Okay, let's just leave it at that. I don't want to damage everything here, but so I haven't seen pictures. I'm guessing it just looks more 3D and cooler, I suppose. Let's take this off. Okay. All right. I'm curious about this. Okay. All right, so we got these cards here. Let's see if I can open this up easily enough. Looks like it. Okay, Don Moreno. That's another character I'm not really familiar with. There's the promoted leader, Don Moreno. I don't know if that came in a later version of G.I. Joe, or if it's just one of the many characters that are out there and I just wasn't aware, so. Okay. So, yeah, we've got the buildable hanger here. I'm not sure exactly how it puts together. It's probably not too hard, but looking at it, I'm not exactly certain. I'll figure it out. And another one of those end around like token D-flip for the solo mode. I don't know if it's any different than what was in the other one. I don't think so. But anyway, well, it might have been. It probably looks a little different. So anyway, that's what's in that bonus thing. I'm most excited about the cards. I think the 3D hanger should be kind of neat too, but probably not desperately important. But I do like having more card possibilities. So anyway, that is it. That's everything I got for this game. I'm really excited to try it. I'm a big fan of G.I. Joe, as I mentioned earlier. It just always struck a chord with me, and I always want to see kind of new iterations on it if they're done well. I'm pleased that I don't see Serpentor in here, although I'm sure he'll be coming in an expansion at some point. But yeah, I want to get this played. I don't think my wife, I mean, she knows what G.I. Joe is. I don't know that she really watched it, though, so it'll be interesting to see what she thinks of this game as we play it, if it's enjoyable to her or if it's too far removed from what she knows to be exciting. But we'll see. She's more of a mechanics person than a theme person anyway, so it could work out just fine. Anyway, I'll try to get to that when I can. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe and click the little bell icon so you'll know about the next time I put out a video. It really helps a lot and it makes me happy. So I look forward to seeing you next time around the table at All Games New and Old. Bye.